Was I muted? I was muted. How's it going, Majahadra? How's it going, everybody? What time is it for you, Majahadra? That was like the first thing I asked. Ah! My thing isn't muted. I'm a professional. So yeah, today we're looking at yeah, basically today I'm showing off my first real deck. Oh, it's 3 in the afternoon. Good to know. Basically I'm showing off my first deck that I have that I believe actually has competitive power. Also, this is just a proxy until I fill in hold up. I'm alright, Majahadra. I'm a little nervous about this whole thing. You know, like, a tournament. But oh my gosh, where'd it go? I know I have at least one copy of it in here. There we go. I have a bunch of art cards in here, and they're just to replace the spots for this singular card. Now, this deck, hold on, let's go. Yeah, I'm rooting for me too, Majahadra. Let's hop onto Moxfield quick. So this is a Pauper deck, aka you can't have anything in your deck that was not at one point printed at common. So there are a whole bunch of cards in here that proliferate. Now, I don't know how much you know, Majahadra, about Magic the Gathering, but proliferate is a mechanic. Proliferate is a mechanic in which you add some things. You add some things that are placed onto cards. So, like, if we look at, they're called counters. So if we look at, can I need to zoom in? Hold up. We look at this guy. He has, hold up. If I can, there we go. Toxic 1. Players dealt combat damage by this creature also get a poison counter. Okay. So poison counters are fun. Hello, Piggles. I have a pet pig. Okay. Actually, this is a good thing that explains both. Toxic 1, players dealt combat damage by this creature also get a poison counter. And when Blightbelly Rat dies, proliferate. Choose any number of permanents and or players, then give each another counter of each kind they already done. So, if we look at the way that this deck works, I have a few things that will just give players poison counters, right? I have Pestilent Siphoner, Toxic 1. I have Light Belly Rat, Toxic 1. I also have things like Infectious Inquiry. You draw 2 cards, and you lose 2 life. Each opponent gets a poison counter. And then the heavy hitter of this entire deck is Prologue to Phyresis. Each opponent gets a poison counter, draw a card. So we have a bunch of proliferators, or a bunch of toxic counter, poison counter givers. And then pretty much everything else in this deck proliferates. So, Mesmerizing Dose. When Mesmerizing Dose enters the battlefield, tap an enchanted creature, then proliferate. Enchant it, then proliferate. Then proliferate. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Proliferate. Well, that's not quite a proliferator. Contentious Plan. Just straight up proliferate. Vivisurgeon's Insight. Draw 3 cards. Proliferate. Whenever a Thrumming Bird deals combat damage to a player, proliferate. When Gulping Scrap Trap enters the battlefield or dies, proliferate. When Gataxian Anatomist enters the battlefield, you may tap it. If you do... I'm not going to give you the satisfaction of hearing it. Proliferate! But stuff like Bring the Ending, it has this little thing of text right at the bottom. Let's go into Bring the Ending. Corrupted. Counter that spell instead if its controller has 3 or more poison counters. I think my opponent is going to have 3 or more poison counters. Yeah, it is a lot of proliferation. Fuck Conjurers! But yes. I've tried out this deck before against a resisting opponent. And what I've learned is that this is a control deck. AKA, I don't really have to care about what my opponent is doing. I just do my own thing. So, I have my own things to deal with their things, but I just really don't have to worry about what they're doing. I can play a whole bunch of cards, get the cards that I need. Because of the best boys, Vivisurgeon's Insight, Infectious Inquiry, Contentious Plan, and Prologue to Phyresis. All of those draw cards. We draw in cards. And I love Vivisurgeon's Insight in particular because, say I have a plethora of mana available. Then I can do other things. I can draw 3 cards, I can draw 3 cards. Then, I do other things. I have that support for the next turn, or for the next action I take. And plus, a lot of these guys are flyers. They can't be blocked by non-flying creatures. I have 2 flyers, one that proliferates whenever it does damage, and one that just has toxic. So, so when it comes to actually playing this deck, I'm very picky on what cards I get. Let's go down here. Would I play this hand? No. I would not play this hand. There are a few good things here. Like Pestilent Siphoner, that's good to start off the deck, or start off the game. That's good to start off the game. And having a counter spell, is decent. But again, well, I don't have any other lands other than this one, so I'll deal another hand. This is better. This is better. Let's playtest this. This is how I test my decks. How quickly are these things gonna go off? So, mind you, I don't have anybody else going against me, but this is like... Yeah, I don't have anybody going against me, but this is... Like I said, I can just do whatever I want. So I'm going to put this at the bottom of my library. Because that's how mulligans work in Magic. Play a swamp. Pass the turn. Oh, look! Got another one. Play a swamp. Tap 2 of those. Play Blightbelly Rat. This guy does the toxic thing. Sick. We Gucci. Next turn. Ooh. That's good. I get another one. Bam, bam, tap 2. Bam. And this is where the fun begins. Attack. They get a poison counter. And this guy is left up to block. Fun. Fun. Next turn, draw a card. Get an island. Tap an island and a swamp. Play a contentious plan. Proliferate, draw a card. They get another poison counter. I draw a card. And then, let's say, oh, I have 1 black mana left up. So, I tell them, pass the turn. I forgot to even attack. We attack. They get a poison counter. And then they put in something that's like a 3/3, let's say. I tap this. Play Whisper of the Dross. Target creature gets -1/-1 until the end of the turn. I proliferate. So that goes to the graveyard. And then let's say I block this now 2/2. When it dies, proliferate. This is turn 4. And they are already down. They are already up to half the poison counters that would kill them. Alright, next turn. Fun stuff. Alright, no island draw or no land draws. This is fine. We Gucci with this. I play a Thrumming Bird. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, proliferate. Bam! I swing in with my Blightbelly Rat. Okay. Then, I tap the last remaining black. Whisper of the Dross. Target creature gets -1/-1. I don't know if they don't have any big creatures. Oh, yeah. If they don't have any big creatures, I might do that to one of my creatures. Because it needs that target. Yeah, target creature gets -1/-1 until the end of the turn. As far as I know, it needs that. It needs that target. I may be wrong. If I read that... Oh no, it's a period. So it's like, yeah, do this. You can't? Okay, move on. Then, proliferate. Bam. Next turn. Hey, we got a swamp. Not a very good hand right now. Not a very good hand. Mesmerizing Dose taps target creature, but I can't pay it because I don't have 2 blue. So let's just say a bam bam. 2 more poison counters. Next turn. And then, turn 7, I play Gataxian Anatomist. When Gataxian Anatomist enters the battlefield, you may tap it. If you do, proliferate. Tap, poison counter. Done. That's turn 7. It's a creeping death sort of deck. And believe you me, does it let me? It lets me go more than lets me go more than 10. That's hilarious. And that wasn't even an optimal hand. Right? Let's see. Can I deal another hand? This is the perfect hand. This is the perfect hand. Creeping Death is a cool term. Yeah. I might call this Creeping Death, actually. I might change the name. But yeah, this is the perfect hand. Because it lets me get going. Right? So, okay, first turn. Play an island. Right? And if you know anything about Magic, you know that blue is the color of counter spells. Oh my gosh, what's the song? Blonde is the color of my true love's hair. Blue is the color. Counter spells. Next turn. Hey, play a swamp. Okay. Now, here's where we get schmoovin'. Bam, bam. Prologue to Phyresis. Each opponent gets a poison counter. Draw a card. Bam. Ooh, and we back up the card advantage. Next turn. And I'll be honest, at that point they probably have like a 1/1 or a 2/2. Okay, that's fine. I take 2. Or no, not on. Well, yeah. On turn 2, they could hit me for 2. Okay. Whatever. Now we get our blockers out. Bam, bam. Bam. Right? 2/2. Toxic 1. When it dies, proliferate. And I can't do anything else this turn. Oh, except play a swamp. So, next turn. Okay. Here's where we start getting choices. What is the possible... Oh, I would... Unless I block, which I probably wouldn't. I take 2. I take 2 damage. You can't see it? Hold up. There. This should... Actually, I can move it up here. Aha! So, health, poison counters, energy counters, tickets. Tickets are a thing. Oh. The Unfinity. Unfinity is a heck of a set. Okay, so let's say I'm down to 16. They are still at 20. That is the important part. They're still at 20. Okay. My next turn. Jeez. Tap, tap. Drumming Bird. Okay. I swing in. If they block, I proliferate. If they block, I proliferate. No matter what, they're getting a poison counter. It's just, do they want to keep getting poison counters, or do they just want to invest in their future and take 1 poison counter? Okay, let's say that dies. Right? Whatever. Then I have a blocker. But I'll probably take 2. Okay, next turn. Bam, bam. We'll play Contentious Plan. Proliferate, draw a card. Alright. I don't have any Whispers of the Dross, which I would want right now. But Okay, well, I leave up a blocker because I don't want to take any more. Next turn. Bam. No, not restart. Ah. Tap, tap. Oh no, I wouldn't want to tap that. I would want to tap that. Actually, yeah, I think I'll do that. To draw. Proliferate. Oh. Not a very good hand. Can't do very much with this. Oh. Okay. You know, I would probably lose this game. I don't have anything to do. I'm mana screwed, and I have one blocker. I would probably lose this game. I'll admit. Okay. Oh, is this any better? I mean, I have a toxic guy. Okay, play a swamp, whatever. Next turn. Okay, play an island. Right, tap 2. Play a Blight Belly Rat. Okay. I could block, they would probably have like a 1-1 on the field. Whatever. I think if they have a 1-1 on the field, I'll take it. Okay. Bam, bam. Or next turn. Whoops. Oh, this is better. Play an island. Tap, tap. Play a Blight Belly Rat. Swing in for 2. Toxic 1. If they had a 1-1 on the field, I get rid of their only 1-1. Okay, whatever. And then I have that blue mana up. Blue is the color, the counter spell. Next turn. I'm playing that mind game with them. I might not have the actual counter spell in my hand, but I'm playing that game with them. Actually, I might go in and replace 2 of these mesmerizing doses. Not me doing it at the exact same time. I think I'll replace 2 of those mesmerizing doses with the other 2 copies of Bring the Ending. Just so I have those counter spells. Bam. Alt 3. 2. Enter. Why am I blanking? Where is Bring the Ending? What? Then, while I'm here, might as well check. Make sure my sideboard is up in order. Okay, I didn't put any more. In fact, got rid of all of my... Yeah, everything. Okay. yeah, everything looks in order. But yeah, I got rid of all of my experimental auguries because that just lets me draw cards, basically. With the downside of like, it's in person, Mahajahadra. It's at one of my local game stores. So I dropped a card. It's just a swamp. It'll be fine. I double sleeved. Oh, why is there's another card down there? Why am I dropping things? I'm a professional. Yeah, no, if this were digital, I would be dead. I would have no chance. I am fully aware that Pauper is filled with infinite combos. Just like all sorts of stuff, man. There is, so that's why I'm thinking of playing like counter spells. Just straight up negates. Counter target non-creature spell? Yeah, that's gonna be necessary. I'm gonna look them dead in the eyes and be like, hey, is that a part to your infinite combo? Yeah, no. Hey Ever, how's it going? Welcome. We're doing some insanity. But yeah, I'm going in person so that one, I can support my local game store, and two, I can actually connect with people that I'm playing with. It's not just like oh, okay, this person played against me, beat my butt, and then just kind of goes, heh. But yeah, we are going in. I have my poison token, my poison counter token, so that I can look at them. I can look them in the eye. I can look them in the eye. Say, each opponent gets a poison counter. What? What are you talking about, Ever? Oh! Thanks, Ever. Glad we know that. But yeah, like, as you saw, Maj, the perfect game goes on for 7 turns. Considering that given that they kind of just don't really mess with my plan. Which, if I'm playing red, if they're playing red, I don't need to worry about that. I just need to be quicker than them. Yeah, so that's a big thing. Oh, Ever, no. Oh. No. Oh. You did this. But yeah, so like I said, perfect game. Like this hand. Swamp, Whisper of the Dross, Pestilent Siphoner, Gulping Scrap Trap, Thrumming Bird, Bring the Ending, and Prologue to Phyresis behind the behind chat. Like, it's good because of Prologue to Phyresis. It's bad because it's just one swamp. So, deal another hand. Oh, this one's even worse! Why? When I'm in person, I can get these perfectly. When I'm in person. Deal another hand. Wow. See, okay, that's better. I can live on a hope and a prayer. But, like, I've learned that that's not always a good move. Hey, this is better! So, like, let's look at this. Let's look at how this goes. Play a swamp. Ooh ah. Okay, next turn. Show other zones. Like what? Oh, my sideboard. Ah, okay. Land is land. Bam, bam, bam. Off we pop. Off we pop. Hadra Hadra, is this an accurate accent? Tell me now. Next turn. Bam. I could do one of two things. I think right now the smartest move would be to put out a blocker. As you know. Right, next turn, play Swamp. 10 out of 10! Contentious plan. Oh, I forgot 2 poison counters. One because of Prologue to Phyresis, one because of Contentious Plan. I draw. Oh, that's beefy. I've got a Prologue to Phyresis. I can only think of Spiced 8 Rack. Their impression of people from England or English people. He's Welsh, so he goes, "I'm from England. I speak like somebody punched me in the mouth." And had that face the entire time. It's great. We loved it. All Americans love English slander. Okay. So from here I can do possibly 2 things. Do I leave a blue and a black up for a counter spell? Or do I forward my plan? I think the proper thing is to forward my plan. So, Contentious Plan. What the heck? No. I understand that. No, what? Draw. Okay. And then I Proliferate. This is turn 4. 3 poison counters on turn 4. Okay. And if I swing in with my flyer, it becomes 4 poison counters on turn 4. And you have to smile too much and eat your tongue at the same time when you talk English. How? What? Oh, that's the card I drew. Okay, next turn. I'm from England. I'm from England. I'm going to go to Egypt to steal some artifacts and bring them home. Go play a swamp. Okay. So I can do one of 2 things. I actually can do a few things. Okay. So I can tap a blue and a black to play Prologue to Phyresis. I draw a card. Give a poison counter. Tap a blue, 2 black. Get a Blight Belly Rat. Okay. Swing in with my guy. Proliferate. See, like, that is the beefiness of Thrumming Bird. It's like you proliferate twice every turn. But Jajay, I want a crumpet. Is that what you wanted? That's what you wanted me to say, Ever? Is that what you wanted? I'm sure there's a joke about Varuk Assault in that comment. Okay. So, 6 poison counters, turn 5. Next turn. Okay. Play an island. There's a few things I can do here. Theoretically, on a perfect turn, I end the game here. Okay? On a perfect turn. Allow me to demonstrate. Tap 2 blues, 1 black. Mesmerizing Dose. Tap enchanted creature. It doesn't untap during its opponent's end step. Proliferate. Or untap step. Proliferate. Tap 1. Play Whisper of the Dross. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Proliferate. Attack. Bam. Bam. Toxic 1. Toxic 1. Whenever Throwing Bird deals combat damage to a player, proliferate. 10. That is a turn 6 kill. On a perfect turn. Mind you, I still had Whisper of the Dross. Oh. Mind you, I still had Whisper of the Dross. So if one of these didn't hit, say Thrumming Bird didn't hit for some reason, because if Blightbelly Rat didn't hit and they blocked it, you would still get one of those poison counters. I could, bam, bam, Whisper of the Dross, bam, proliferate. This deck, and like I said, I've tested it in person. This deck wants to do its thing. Likely the worst thing that they could do is get... The worst thing that they could do is get a lot of small creatures out. Because then they're doing... like possibly 6 damage per turn. If it's just consistently... If they're consistently putting out 1/1s. Like 1/1 for 2s. Or like a lot of my guys are. They're 1/1s for 2. But I have responses for that. Love you, Ever. I have responses for that. If we look at my sideboard, actually, I have more creatures in my sideboard in case I find out that, oh, they're running that sort of deck. But this is actually a really good card for my deck, because what happens is, whenever you draw your second card each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on not a deck. What happens with all of my draw spells? I proliferate. So I also have that secondary plan of, okay, you want to play that game? Let's go back to traditional Magic. So yeah, that is possibly the worst thing that they could do. Other than that, let's say I get a really bad draw. And let's say I get a really bad draw and I get 1 Prologue to Phyresis. they counter it right off the bat. If it happens turn 2, they can't. I do not know of any counter spells, and we can look this up. I don't know of any counter spells that cost 1 mana, and usually that's not what they're going to want to do, right? They're going to want to do something that forwards their plan on turn 1. So, function... CMC 1. Oh. Rarity common. Okay. Sure, they'll play a lure. Sacrifice a blue permanent, counter target creature spell. Technically, lands don't have colors. They're lands. It's interesting. You see a lot. Counter target interrupt or enchantment can only counter spells that target opponent. That target. Oh, there we go. Can only counter spells that target a permanent under your control. So there's a few of them. But do we actually think that on turn 2 they're going to have mana up for a counter spell? But, yeah, the worst thing that... why am I on here? I didn't mean to do that. The worst thing that they could possibly do is get a whole bunch of Whittle creatures out. And again, counter spells, tap spells. Counter spells and tap spells. So if they get more than I can deal with, okay, I know which one is going first. I know which card is going first. I would put these all... I would put my Infectious Inquiries and put my Mesmerizing Doses back in. It's like... These things are thought of. And I'm very glad that you asked that. I didn't mean to remove it. Yeah, for just... This is my deck. This is my deck at the beginning. For turn 1. If I need to sideboard, if I figure out their strategy and I need to sideboard, I'm sideboarding that way. Oh yeah. Yeah, so if we look at the mana curve, actually. No, I don't know what I don't know. That's what the... I was talking with someone, actually, and on one of my... I went to a draft event. And they go, yeah, the first game is for figuring out what their deck does. The second game is for figuring out how to beat them. And again, I say, I was talking earlier about, like, Pauper is a format that is littered with infinite combos. So I'm going to have to go in with a critical eye, looking at the way things interact, looking at the way things... Like, when they say, okay, I'm going to play this, I'm going to be like, hold up, before that resolves, What does that do? Oh yeah, that's happened to me, Maja Hadra. My first time I went out to play Magic, that happened very badly. But yeah, let's look at this mana curve, okay? Let's say turn 2. I get my perfect hand. Let's say I get my perfect hand. I get Swamp, Island, Prologue to Phyresis, and a Thrumming Bird. Let's say that all is in my first hand. Okay. Turn 1, play an Island. Turn 2, play a Swamp. Turn 2, play a Swamp. Tap both, play a Prologue to Phyresis. Okay, they get a poison counter. Actually, let's go in and try this out. Bam, 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 bam. Let's go in here. No. View library. Bam. Okay. Then let's just say if I can do literally nothing else, right? Bam. Close and shuffle. This is my perfect starting hand. Okay. So, well, not all of it. Not all of it is my perfect starting hand, but namely the fact that there's a Swamp, there's an Island, there's a Thrumming Bird, and there's a Prologue to Phyresis. Right? Turn 1, play an Island. Okay? Simple. Easy. Next turn. Okay? Turn 2, play a Swamp. Tap both, play Prologue to Phyresis. Okay, they get a poison counter. I draw a card. Okay. Now here's the problem with my deck, which I think is a non-issue. What am I doing here? I have 3 mana. I have 3 permanents in my hand that cost a blue and 1. 1 and a blue. What am I doing with that 1 extra mana? Like I said, I'm thinking that's a non-issue right now. Actually, I would probably go back and play this as play an Island instead of play a Swamp. I always want to have more islands so that I can play those mind games. Like, oh, I have a blue up. Yeah, like tap, bam, bam. Play a Thrumming Bird. Yes, ever? But yeah, I'm like, what am I doing with that? That is a mind game card. That's why I think I can make it work. Alright, so next turn, play a Swamp. Now here's what happens. Here's where the fun... This is where the fun begins. Because now I can do more than one thing. On a perfect game where I have all of my land drops. Bam, play another Thrumming Bird, whatever. Now I have this up. Which if you look down there, that's a counter spell. So I tap, attack, proliferate. Okay, simple. They do something absolutely insane. Bam, bam. Boop. Pay 2 extra, babe. Hey, pay 2 extra, babe. Okay. Whatever. Play an Island. Now what do I do? probably I would just swing out. Block, proliferate twice. Simple. On their turn, on their end step, tap that, do that, proliferate. Bam! Simple. Gosh! Why is that happening? Okay, next turn. Draw. Hey, play a swamp! Swing out. I would just like to point out that this deck is very susceptible to the same thing that all decks are susceptible to. Right? Get a crappy draw. Whatever. Bam, bam, bam. Gets a poison counter, I lose 2 life. Draw 2 cards. I have a counter spell. I have a counter spell. This is good. But yeah. So, I'm glad that y'all were here to share in this journey of excitement and the anxiety and yeah. I'm super psyched. I'm super psyched for this tournament. It's not really a big important game. It's not like I'm going to Worlds if I win this. There is a title on the line. There is a title. If I beat the Monarch, aka the champion, I become the Monarch. So we're I'm hoping. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. I'm hoping that I can become the next Monarch. But yeah. I'm gonna call it here. I hope you had fun. I liked it. I liked doing this thing. Yeah. Next week we will be back on Kea. I promise. We will be back on Kea. So, I better be the Monarch. What if I'm not? What if I'm just a Pauper? But yeah, so yeah, I will be back on Kea. I will be back on Kea next week. I'm gonna have some new things. Right? Have a good one, y'all. Bye.